Hello, BookTube. I have another mail haul to do today. A small fraction of what I came back to. I spent the morning at the Christian Science Monitor. I came back to an enormous pile of packages, far more than I could do on camera, especially since my videos are already edging towards 15 minutes apiece anyway. So I chose a fraction of it so that we could open the packages and talk about them. I'll start with this one. A modest brown package with one of these pull tabs that only work about 1% of the time. The package has to be manhandled open anyway. What is this? From the mess of a cover, I assume it's called the Subsidiary. Yes, the Subsidiary, translated by Samuel Rutter. In the subsidiary offices of a major Latin American corporation, the power suddenly shuts off. Trapped in total darkness with only a few fellow workers and cryptic intermittent announcements coming over the loudspeaker, one employee gives testimony of the days he spends imprisoned in the building, delivered hauntingly through the stamps he uses to mark corporate documents, hence the cover. This is a Chilean writer, Matthias Celadon. It's from Melville House. It comes out in a week, a few days. Never heard of this before, though. Interesting. So the whole thing is a gimmick. It was done via gimmicks. We'll see if it's any good. Odds are against it, but we'll see. So that's the first one. That starts us off, and then we'll move on to this. A couple of these will get bigger as they go along. What's this? Oh, fantastic. This is The Attention Merchants by Tim Wu. The epic scramble to get inside our heads. This is all about the internet and the internet culture that has sprung up around it, which you can see ample examples of everywhere you turn if you're online. Like, for instance, I'm holding this book up right now on camera, and I'm saying the words, The Attention Merchants. And I, as you know from watching these videos, I do not list the novels or the books that I get in the information section down below. I don't do anything like that. There are no tags on this video whatsoever, and yet I guarantee you that within a day, my Facebook feed, my Twitter feed, my Amazon will start to show me this book. And who knows how that happens. That's just a mild example. But there isn't, as far as I know, no way that could happen, and yet it certainly will. So, anyway, the Attention Merchants will probably tell me how that happens. I look forward to reading it. This did I say when it comes out? October. Good. Nice time there. And what have we here? Uh-oh. I think I know a certain retired book nerd who's going to want this more than I am. This is Jefferson Bass, Without Mercy. This is the latest in his series of novels about the body farm. Forensic anthropologist Bill Brockton has spent 25 years solving brutal murders, but none so bizarre and merciless as his latest case. A ravaged set of skeletal remains is found chained to a tree on a remote mountainside. As Brockton and his assistant Miranda dig deeper, they uncover warning signs of a deadly eruption of hatred and violence. A murder mystery solved by a forensic anthropologist. Lots of skullduggery in the lab. And then we've got this enormous thing from Pegasus. I don't actually remember, from looking at Pegasus, their catalogs, I don't remember a book this big coming from them. This will be one that I missed, or that has slipped my mind, no doubt. Oh, whatever it is nice and big. What is this? Oh, will you look at that? This is the Red Sphinx by Alexander Dumas, a sequel to The Three Musketeers. This I gotta hear. I am pleased to send you The Red Sphinx and a new translation by Lawrence Ellsworth, a forgotten sequel to The Three Musketeers, published here in English for the first time in over a century. In 1844, Dumas published The Three Musketeers, a novel so famous and still so popular today that it scarcely needs an introduction. Shortly thereafter, he wrote a sequel, 20 years after, that resumed the adventures of his swashbuckling heroes. Later, toward the end of his career, Dumas wrote The Red Sphinx, another direct sequel that begins a mere 20 days afterward. The Red Sphinx picks up where The Three Musketeers left off, continuing the stories of Cardinal Richelieu, Queen Anne, King Louis XIII, and introducing a charming new hero, the Comte de Moray, a real historical figure from the period. A young cavalier newly arrived in Paris, Moray is an illegitimate son of the former king, and thus half-brother to King Louis. The French court seethes with intrigue as the king, queen, and cardinal all vie for power, and young Moray soon finds himself up to his handsome neck in conspiracy, danger, and passionate romance. Sounds like BookTube. Oh my, that's wonderful. Oh, and this comes out in January. That's great. Look at that. Gigantic Alexander Dumas. I tell you, I love my job. Now, look at this thing. Oh my God. This is huge. What could possibly... It must be an art book of some kind. What could possibly be this big? How do we get in here? What is this? So enormous. Star Trek. 50 artists. 50 years. Oh my God. It's 2 copies of Star Trek. 50 artists. 50 years. It has a foreword by University of Iowa's own Nicholas Meyer. To mark the 50th anniversary of the iconic original Star Trek series, artists from around the world, famous fans, and even the late, great Leonard Nimoy have contributed lovingly made posters, photos, sculptures, comic strips, textiles, and much more to this special commemorative Star Trek art collection. I naively thought that the shipment couldn't get any better than a new Alexander Dumas. I was wrong. And then we have this one. There's no chance on earth this is going to equal Star Trek. But it's also huge, so it could be something intriguing. Let's find out. This will be it for today. Another gigantic book. Oh, very good. Okay. This is the finished copy of Christopher Gauch's New History of Vietnam. That's a lovely finished copy, isn't it? That's don't remember the ARC looking quite this good. This comes out in mid-September. God, September's a busy month. Jeez, I just remade my shelves of workbooks, which I'll have to try to film them so you can see them. They tower all the way to the ceiling of the room. I don't know what I'm going to do if they get any bigger. And books like this don't help. That's going to push September right over the top, baby. I'm clearly going to need to come up with another arrangement for those shelves. It just isn't working. There's only so much room between the top of the bookcase and the ceiling of the room. And I don't want to double stack because then things jump right out of my mind's eye. So I might need to clear off shelves and just make that whole wall new books. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But there you have it. A nice selection of books that really pale in comparison to a gigantic Star Trek storyboard full of artwork. Oh, my. But we also have a history of Vietnam, new Alexander Dumas, forensic pathology is a murder mystery. One won't stay long, I think, in my position before it goes off somewhere special. The Attention Merchants, a subject that involves us all, and a Chilean novel that comes out in about 5 minutes. So that's not bad. I'm going to get to the rest of them, but it's going to take me a while to do. It's a gigantic slosh of books. But this will do for now. Thank you, BookTube.